The NBA regular season is here, so I have to continue with the team previews today. I'm going to be breaking down the Denver Nuggets. They've been running the Western Conference for the past couple years. Of course, you know Nikola Jokic winning his third MVP last season, three-time MVP winner, an NBA champion. But he's not the only important guy on this Denver Nuggets team, or has been in the past. Obviously one of the best players in the NBA, but this team has built a nice core around him for them to be successful. So let's get into it. Denver Nuggets, here we go. But before I start my preview on the Nuggets, I have to say one important thing. Hit that subscribe button. I'm going to have a preview for every single team going into this NBA season. I know the season already started, but I'm still going to pump out a preview for every team. So you want to hit that subscribe button. Make sure you follow along on this journey. Also give the TC Talk Sports TikTok page a follow. I'll have more short form stuff on there for everyone to enjoy. Not just NBA. Here at TC Talk Sports, it's all sports all the time. So if you love sports, you love sports betting like I do, subscribe YouTube, follow on TikTok. It's going to be a great year trying to build up this channel, gain followers, and I don't think you guys will be disappointed. Enough of that cliche YouTube stuff. We're talking about the Denver Nuggets, one of the best teams in the NBA. Last season went 57-25. That was second best in the West. They lost in a 7-game series in the second round to the Minnesota Timberwolves, who kind of came out of nowhere last year. A big emergence as a team for them, knocking the Nuggets out of the playoffs. A little bit of a down year on offense for Denver, only 114.9 points per game. That was 14th best in the league, but the defense stepped up tremendously for the Nuggets, only giving up 109.6 points per game. That was 5th in the league, holding opponents to a 46% field goal percentage. That put them 4th. That definitely helped them all year because sometimes the offense wasn't there, but the defense played really well last season. For the Nuggets, they lost a key defender who I'll get into later, but I expect similar results for Denver this season. Nikola Jokic, as I said, winning his third MVP last season, averaging 26.4 points per game. 10th in the league for him, but, I mean, he can do everything, so I don't think being 10th in scoring is a bad thing for the Nuggets. He shot 58.3% from the field, also 10th in the league. Jokic also pulling in 12.4 rebounds per game. That was 4th in the league and his second career high. So obviously his third run at MVP, winning last season. Another great year for him, 9 assists per game. That put him 3rd in the league. Dude's almost averaging a triple-double. I mean, if you just watch him play, you see him, you don't think he's capable of doing these things, but he has been doing those things every year since he's been in the league, and somehow he seems to only be getting better, and he's so fun to watch. People that say that he's not the best player in the NBA are crazy. I mean, he's consistently, obviously, winning MVPs, winning championships. I mean, he's just a freak overall. Jamal Murray, he was limited to 59 games last season dealing with an injury. He averaged 21.2 points per game, tying his career high, dishing out 6.5 assists per game. That was a career high for him. He shot 42.5% from 3, a career high for him, and also 4 rebounds. It seemed like he didn't have that great of a year last year, but obviously one of the best of his career, putting up career high numbers in points, assists, and three-point shooting. He struggled at times in the playoffs last season. I think that's what really hurt the Nuggets in that second round versus the Timberwolves, but most of this core is returning for Denver, so I assume Murray's going to have another good year just being comfortable and being familiar with the team that's around him. Michael Porter Jr., last season, 16.7 points per game, brought in a career high 7 rebounds and shot 39.7% from 3. And that's his game. At 6'9", 6'10", whatever he is, long, big wingspan, has a high release point on his three-point shots, and he has consistently been one of the more, I don't want to say best, but definitely one of the more solid three-point shooters in the league the last couple years. Big part of the Nuggets championship team. Jokic drives in, kicks out the MPJ. He's always firing up threes. Percentage-wise, I don't know if he's going to be as good this year, but he'll definitely be around that 37 to 40%. Aaron Gordon has slowly become one of my favorite players to watch on this team, if not my favorite player to watch. I mean, his size, his athletic ability is ridiculous, scoring 13.9 points per game. He made 55.6% of his shots from the field, 6.5 rebounds, and my favorite part about his game that he's really developed and worked on the last 2-3 years. Last season, he averaged 3.5 assists per game. And when you got a big guy like that that's driving downhill but can still make smart passes, the right passes, that's something very dangerous to have on your team, and it's super hard to defend. Watching Aaron Gordon bring the ball down the floor when they have 4 other primary ball handlers on this team is kind of crazy to watch. And Aaron Gordon's just super fun player to watch. You know, his dunks, alley-oops, he can get his head above the rim every time he jumps. Just super exciting player to watch. I think he complements Jokic, who sometimes is not the most exciting player to watch, even though he makes those crazy plays. But those two in your front court is a great recipe for a championship team. Busy offseason for Denver this year. Started in the draft, drafting Day'Ron Holmes out of Dayton, 6'9", 236, big body, physical player. They took him 22nd overall last season in Dayton. He led the A-10 with 20.4 points per game, shot 54% from the field, 38% from three. He's not a big three-point shooter. We saw him take more threes last year at Dayton than he did in the previous year. I don't think the Nuggets are going to want to rely on him shooting threes this season. I think most of his scoring and work is going to come down from mid-range or in the paint on the low blocks. Pulled in 8.5 rebounds per game. Last year, he was the A-10 co-player of the year, one of 10 Naismith Trophy semifinalists, one of the best players in all of college basketball, while also earning A-10 Defensive Player of the Year. And I think that's what the Nuggets want out of him, a big, strong guy that can score down low, make exciting plays, and guard the rim. He can also guard out on the perimeter, as I said, super athletic, good footwork offensively and defensively, so I think a great draft pick for the Nuggets here in the first round. They also signed Dario Saric. He's now 30 years old, but he's that typical NBA veteran bench guy that you want on your team. We saw him with the Warriors picking back up with his three-point shooting. His career, he averages 10.6 points, 36% from three, and averages 5.4 rebounds per game. Like I said, just a solid guy to bring in off your bench, give Jokic a break, Aaron Gordon a break. Nuggets also signing rookie Trey Alexander. He went undrafted, and I honestly think he was one of the best players in college basketball. Last season, they signed him as an undrafted free agent, spent 3 years at Creighton, and really just got better and better every single year he was there. Last season, he finished with 17.6 points per game, 4.7 assists, and 5.7 rebounds per game, while also adding 1.1 steals on the defensive end per game. He's another guy that can do it all. That Creighton team was really good last year with Kalkbrenner, Shireman, Alexander, Nembhard. That was a really good team, but I think Trey Alexander was the heartbeat of that team. He did everything for him, and I think he's going to be able to translate that into the NBA. I don't know how much playing time he's going to get right away, but he's long, really long wingspan, athletic. As I said, he can do everything on the basketball court. He was one of my favorite players to watch last year in college basketball, so I'm excited to see how much work he gets in the NBA this season. I think he'll spend most of his time in the G League, and I think that'll really help him because I think if he plays a lot of games in the G League or solid minutes off the bench in the NBA, he's going to improve even more, and he's going to be a good NBA player in the next couple years to come. I know what you're thinking. I forgot about one of the biggest offseason deals this year, but I'm not. The Nuggets signed Russell Westbrook in the offseason. Don't need to really go too far into that. I think it's an interesting fit on this team. We saw him in preseason a little bit, playing alongside with the other Nuggets players that have been there for a while. But I mean, you're getting one of the hardest working players in the NBA, a guy that can fly downhill and get to the rim whenever he wants. Of course, that three-point shooting is not really where he wants it to be, but I don't think he has to be a good three-point shooter for this team. I think he has to play solid on defense, guarding out on the perimeter. It's going to be interesting to see how he works alongside Jokic because they both love to have the ball in their hands. Westbrook's not going to be a good three-point shooter. He's not going to have as much triple-doubles as he has in the past just because of the other talent and skill on this team. Like, he's not playing for the Washington Wizards or anything. I don't think it's like a championship-winning move signing Russell Westbrook to this team, but again, Nuggets are going to be good and just got to keep your eyes out on Westbrook to see how he helps or possibly doesn't help this team going forward. My player to watch, he's going to be good this year. It's Julian Strawther, now in his second year with the Nuggets out of Gonzaga. He's 6'7", 205. I mean, he's kind of like a shooting guard, small forward type guy. If they want to go smaller, they can throw him down to the power forward position. Last year, he played 50 games for the Nuggets, averaged 4.5 points per game, 1 rebound, and almost an assist. He can just flat out score the ball. I mean, he's not a crazy playmaker, or he's not too good at creating his own shots, but he can score the ball. We saw that in Summer League. He only played 2 games, but he led Summer League with 28.5 points per game, shot 40.9% from 3, 4 rebounds, 3 assists. He can defend. He's a really good on-ball defender, that big size. If the Nuggets are playing big, they play him at the shooting guard position at 6'7". I mean, you got good size. He's got a big wingspan. Very exciting player to watch, and I think he is actually going to play some good minutes for the Nuggets this year off the bench, and he's going to make an impact when he's out there on the floor. I'm not going to say I told you so, but if you're watching this and you watch those games, you're going to see how good Julian Strawther is, and he definitely will be deserving of more minutes as the season goes on. My prediction for the Denver Nuggets, I have this weird feeling that they're going to have a little bit of a down year. Don't really know why. I mean, the West is super loaded, super talented, but prediction-wise, I'm going to say they're going to finish anywhere from 3rd to 5th in the West. They were 2nd last year. I think they're going to take a little bit of a step back, especially with Thunder, Timberwolves, Mavericks will probably fill out that top 3, top 4 spot. I don't think the Nuggets are going to finish anywhere higher than 3rd, but I wouldn't doubt it because Jokic is the best player in the NBA. But I don't see them finishing any lower than 5th. Obviously, they're going to make the playoffs. They're going to have a good chance of winning it all if they stay healthy. And again, it's going to come down to Russell Westbrook, I think. And a lot of people are saying Jamal Murray is kind of digressing. Obviously, he had a career high in a couple stats last season. Murray and Westbrook out on the floor at the same time. Not really sure how that's going to work out, but definitely going to be interesting to see. They also lost KCP, one of the best on-ball defenders in the league, and he can shoot the 3-ball. I think that's a big loss for them. Christian Brown's probably going to get a lot of minutes off the bench for Denver. He's another solid role player. Going to be an interesting year for them. I don't think they're going to win the championship. I don't think Jokic is going to win MVP, but they're definitely going to make the playoffs, and don't sleep on them to win another championship.